so much has changed since we've been together. You know,
Yes.
you became a husband, you became a father,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you became a famous TV star. Duncan, it all happened.
Yeah, it's so what's beautiful, and you do know this, what's beautiful about having a child is it transcends all the other stuff in such a exponential way. It's such a beautiful reprioritization of things and such a contact with the divine. Now I understand baby Krishna. Now I understand that the symbolism of that and do y'all know what's his name? He's with the Bronner folks. Bobcat. Do you know him? He's this amazing person I met at Burning Man.
Yes, he's amazing.
Amazing. He's this beautiful, what I'm talking. He's like this incredibly beautiful, charismatic, radiant being. And he's like weirdly like my teachers, they'll always call me out of the blue, but at the perfect moment. And he did that just out of the blue, just randomly called me. This is some time after finding out about, like almost right when I was finding out I was going to be a dad. He just out of the blue called and he said, well, you've been knocking at the temple door for a long time, so eventually it's going to open. Wow. Exploded my brain, It's just like, how did you know? And why would you just call and say that? And, it was really beautiful. But that to me, I understand exactly what he meant now. It took some time to really understand it.
Well, do you think that he meant that it's something that you always really wanted, but you were just waiting for the right moment?
Yeah, I think he probably detected in me like, well, we all want that thing Gurdjieff talked about, or we all want the thing Crowley talked about, that invitation into the secret, into the mystery school, into that place that you kind of intuitively know is there, but you for some reason you feel like you're not good enough for it, or you haven't been invited in, or if you were invited in, you might mess things up, or who knows. And then I think that's a really healthy thing to want. Initiation. And so he probably detected that in me to some degree. And, being a dad himself, I think he knew like, oh, I mean, sure, you could get invited into some Masonic hall, or you could be Tolkien style cave wall could open up and you could be ushered into Shambhala, or you could be on the trampoline with a toddler who has decided to call all fruit non and is eating fruit with the juice running down his mouth and looking at you going, non. And it's like, oh, I'll take the toddler any day of the week, man. That's incredible. And, it blows your heart open. It just crushes you. That to me, I think is probably what he meant.
Wow.
Absolutely. It's the temple gates. You're asking for God. God arrives in the form of your child, and you experience a profound love that is you've only met in your partner. Yeah. But then it's like kind of infinitized by the love of the one that the two of you became. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. And congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you
to your sacred family.
Thank you.
We called it the parent training. We were feeling that, in our mid to late 30s, that we were, going to have the life training without the parent training if we didn't hurry up, that kind of thing. Like we really ought to. And we decided that we didn't want to miss out on the parent training. And it's been an incredible training. Isn't it already?
It's a training, and that is the best way to, that is what I've been thinking is like, oh yeah, this is a class. I think I kind of gotten in my head, like I think I was sort of imagining I was about to, I don't want to say graduate because that sounds ridiculous, and I didn't think that, but just sort of maybe retire, drop out. I don't know. But all of a sudden it's like, oh no, you're doing the parent training. And it's great. And it's painful too. I mean, it is, I think you would be,
in what way?
Well, in the sense that okay, what's that saying that they say in Jacob's Ladder, but it's a Meister Eckhart quote? The part of the soul that burns in hell is the part that clings to life. And when you're doing the parent training, the part of your soul that's going to burn and hurt is the part of your soul that's clinging to your own agenda.
Oh yeah.
Forget
and the life and their life where you don't want them to grow up. You want them to always, and it's
Yes.
the constant letting go.
Yes, that. Oh my God, that. Oh, there's that. It's like this heartbreak because that form is it's changing, and they're going to learn how to lie, and they're going to learn to be manipulative, and they're going to learn to be deceptive because I am. You know what I mean? All the things that are in me will be in them. You know that, and you're like, But I do think it's one of the great. You get these winks from the universe. You get the psychedelic wink, which is a little vacation from materialism, or a little the curtain opens for a flash. We've talked about it. Y'all talk. Obviously, you're the curtain opening, but you get this. My wife said as we were looking at the baby, she's like, "Isn't it wild? This came from an orgasm." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that is another wink," And then this child, for a little bit, they let I don't know who they are, but they let the window stay open for a second, for a long time, actually, longer than most things. And then during that time, you're being, bathed in this kid's holy light. I'm not talking about my own kid, by the way. He's no more on my side than any other
Don't you
kid.
think your kid has holy light?
Of course they do.
Of course you do.
Of course they do. But you mean like all children.
Yes, that's what I mean. I didn't want to portray like we had like wise men are coming to the house or anything like that. I just mean for a second, like when you're around a dying person, when you're in the presence of a mother giving birth, and you realize that this is, for some reason, there's a secret here, that there's not much language to describe it. For some reason, you have that same DMT feeling. You're like, how do I know this place? I'm so familiar. I know this place, but I've never been in the presence of a birth, or, the first time I saw someone was with someone dying, but yet there's that familiarity, that the implication being, this is where we come from. This is, for a second, the conditioning or whatever it is vanishes, and you get this sense of, home. So that's the beauty, I think, of the parent training. And I know I've got a lot. My wife the other day was saying, like, God, just wait till he's a teenager and his room stinks. It's like, oh God, you're right. He's gonna have a stinky room. Like
No, not necessarily, but he might. I don't know. Zena wasn't like that. She leaves her stuff all over.
It depends on.
They are the way they are,
Yeah.
But anyway,
Everyone's individual, but
it's fun every day
to appreciate that them every day and whatever stage they're at. You're as parents, I think we do get a good dose of that orb of wonder, that just like can bubble over. If there's no major problems, then you can be in that probably the most joyous state of human life is the celebration of that, because it's the real thing. It is not just a pretend initiation. This is the real stuff. Yeah. And it really matters now that the soul is in your care.
And you try to be a better person. You really try to, you become a better person because you try to be a better person for them. And you do get better. And I just wanted to say that my mother used to always say, when people get nervous about like not enough money and not enough career and not enough in order to have a baby and to be ready to have a baby, she would say, babies bring money and success. And I couldn't help thinking of you having this child and then like having all this success.
It really is. I had heard that saying. There's a lot of different ways people say a baby comes with a sandwich under their arm.
Oh, is that right? I heard that one. Because you become a better person, you become more trusted a lot of times, or you can be. And then abundance.
Well, that's the other like not secret society aspect of it is suddenly you are when you're talking to parents, they know the pain and the joy, and you know it, and like that.
Alex, what do you call it?
You know,
You call it the cult of parenthood.
it's the cult of parenthood because it's kind of like when they're not parents, you kind of say, "Hey, it's really great. You should try it."
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the biggest cult on earth, and it's a beautiful thing because you can compare notes and things and learn from each other, and you're driven to find each other in a way, usually because of play dates eventually and things like that as well. So friendships you'll never have imagined you would have chosen, you might find yourself engaged in, and it can broaden. They can, again broaden us.
That's the cult. I'm deep in the cult, and I love it, and I don't want out. I like it, and I went through a dark period of like, God, I'm being completely domesticated here. What's going on? What am I turning into? And then suddenly I realized, like, no, this is not domestication. This is wild. Like, this thing on the outside looks mundane, but on the inside, this is just what you're saying. It's, I have these moments where I'm thinking, my God, whatever the intelligent force in the universe is, trusted me with this being. This is no joke, man. This is like way bigger than a TV show and way bigger than a podcast and way bigger than anything. And then when you realize that, because, I think I have made the mistake of thinking that complexity is an indication of sophistication. And what a ridiculous thing to think. It's so crazy to think that. And when you're with a child, it's elemental. It's just it's the basic love, basic language, basic needs, and those basic things are the foundation of the whole universe. So you're in the deep core of things, and for me, the moment I realized that's when like all the pain that came from me thinking like, well, I guess threesomes are kind of out the window for a while, and we're gonna have to give up the whatever we were doing was wild, man. Hot tub parties and burners filling the house and people I didn't know in my bathtub and like, all that stuff, that hurt for a second. I was like, I kind of enjoyed that, but now it's like, oh no, it's as glorious as that was, this is way more intense and way more satisfying and way more, on the outside, way more mundane. Let's just face it.
Duncan, not everybody is I bow to you because other people would continue on those kinds of exploits. And for you, that is like unacceptable. And that you feel that for your child, you have a way that you are going to be now. The other thing was the way that you were before.
Well, wait a minute. Are you saying maybe we should keep doing that? Because I'm not.
No, I'm saying some people would, though. Don't you think?
I think that some people.
I didn't. Yeah. Alex didn't. We were very traditional parents. But to me, it's the ultimate social sculpture that you can create the way you want it to be. Do you know what I mean? You are in charge. And if you see every moment of it as, your side of it anyway is of the kind of integrity and whatever it is that the core value of whatever you want to bring to it. Because we all have injuries from our past and our parents made mistakes like we are going to. And so, we're definitely going to, but it's like, how do you deal with that? Because that's just, the way we are is imperfect and flawed. We're human. And so, how are we going to deal with those flaws and how are we going to... So anyway, all this stuff about the sneaky room and everything, it's you may have to deal with that, but you may just get involved, activate, and when they're a teenager, and it's like, it's bliss.
Yes.
I'm just telling you.
I listen, I agree with you. And, again, and also there are ways to carve out wild Dionysus, we can do it. It's just, around, you do these little kids, they just need stability. You know, they just need
Absolutely.
a sense of, like, here's how it is in the morning. This is what it's like in the afternoon. Here's how we go to bed. Oh my God, why are we talking about parents? But I got to say this.
That's okay. I love this. They love that, by the way, what you're doing. Morning, afternoon, evening.
We sing to him now at night. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. He gets this big smile.
Oh, how old is he? How old is he?
17 months.
Oh my God.
You know, he'll start patting your arm and finally, the last thing I'll say, the first time he said dad to me, this is the first like wrecking ball to my heart, is I'm sitting with him on the couch or outside, sitting with him outside, and he literally leans into my ear and whispers, "Da." Oh, whispered it in my ear. It was just,
wow.
How did you know to do that? What, you've been saving it up? Because I've been worried he hadn't been saying dad. Like, you're going to do it like that? Just, you know what I mean?
How did he know to do that syllable first, though, Duncan? Really? I mean, that is the first syllable of most children. And how do they know to do that syllable first? Because, well, the power source, maybe the center of the family. I don't think. I mean, Ma comes later. Really?
All of it is such a wild mystery. I don't know. I think they come with more than a sandwich under their arm. I think they come with associates. He
manual. Yes. They come with a manual.
I think you're right. Spiritual associates.
Yes.
Right.
That have been watching you and then have been conspiring with you.
I agree. I think it helps to allow that possibility to exist as a parent. You know, how is it that when we put him in front of a picture of Neem Karoli Baba, he laughs and like babbles like they've been hanging out, just like, but this familiar laughter. It's like, and what I love about like Raghu, the Ram Dass people, when they met him, they hold him and they look at him. I think Raghu even looked at him and said, "Who are you?" Like, do we know you?
Yeah.
Where are you?
Did you feel this?
Yeah.
And this is why there's so many reincarnations, in Buddhism.
Look, yeah, we've got a pretty strange tribe, so I think they probably selective, I feel like with the visionary artists, in fact, and you might feel this even with your comedian friends or philosopher friends, that there is a renegade tribe of angels that, want to work with the psychedelic culture and conspire with us to inflict love on this world, and to bring
wage love,
waging peace, and I have to, just say what a hero I think you are for bringing this love into the world with your family and taking care of them so well, and with bringing that kind of love and care to the world through your art.